Well, I think we got a bit carried away in this week's episode. But don't worry, it's all going according to plan. It's all going according to plan. It's all going according to plan. We're back at the shop. We're going to be working on Petty Chevy today. First things first, we've got a whole slew of things that we've just bought so we can help get this project moved along and projects in the future. Going to go through real quick, assemble all those things, get it all set up, get the Petty Chevy onto some dollies, and then we're going to start working on taking some body panels off. Let's do it. Before we get started, we're just going to do a quick caption of everything that we've got. We've got two sets of 2 jack stands. They're rated at 3 tons each. We're going to get those in use. We've got vehicle dollies over here. Those are going to be real important for moving the car around with the very limited amount of space that we have. New floor jack, going to be specially used at the shop. We've also got an assortment of new rivets, 2 different boxes of it. We've also got some plastic fasteners. We're going to try and utilize those so that we can reuse them instead of having to take a rivet off for a body panel we might have to take off frequently. And then a hand riveter. I bought this one because it also had a swivel head on it. I could get to it and use it to come in real handy when we get to these smaller areas where it's going to be hard to get a rivet gun straight up and down to be able to get at these rivets to take these body panels off. We're going to start off with the most important part of today, getting these vehicle dollies taken out of the box, get them assembled, and then we're going to assemble the floor jack so we can get the car up, get it up on the dollies, and then get started working on it. Wanted to make it known that all of the tools that are purchased in this video were purchased by myself. They are not a paid sponsorship. I'm not reviewing them for anyone. I'm not getting paid to have these tools. I just thought that I wanted to see if they were a good quality and something that I could use and have it on video so that I could have a reference point in the future for how I put them together. Here I was just trying to make sure that I had the locking casters both on the same side. had all 4 dollies assembled, and I just wanted to make sure that they all rolled smoothly and they worked the way that they were supposed to. So I've got all the vehicle dollies assembled already. Didn't really take that long. Skimmed over the instructions real quick and then just figured out exactly how I wanted them to be. There is a little carry handle at the back, so I made sure that I put the locking casters with the carry handle, so that way when I pick it up, I can pick it up by the carry handle, slide it under the car, and then just hit the locks on the outside of the dolly so it won't have any hard reach. I also made sure to just roll them around real quick, make sure that they weren't going to have any issues rolling around. I really don't think that they're going to. They seem to be of a decent quality. They weren't terribly expensive. I want to say that they were probably about $100, $120 for the set, but to get started, I think that's going to be good. And I just want to make sure that I have something that makes it a little easier right now. So we're just going to go ahead and get stuck into getting the floor jack assembled, put these off to the side, and then once we got that, we can put the jack under the car, get the car up in the front, and then get the car up in the back, get the dollies under there, and then we can start working on the car. If you like our content, please consider subscribing to New Yankee Auto Systems. Off camera, I unboxed the rest of the jack stands and got the floor jack out. I'm happy to say that it seems like these purchases are really going to be of a very good quality for a low price, and I'm very happy about that. So we had to get a little creative on the back end. I had to lift by the bumper that really isn't for more than just body protection from a straight-on collision in the rear. Once I got that up a little bit, I was able to get underneath and lift it by the rear differential. Seems like the springs in the car are really soft, and I actually just started lifting the differential well before I started lifting the car, but that was okay. On the other side, I was able to get the vehicle dolly underneath of it. Then over on this side, I had to actually start jacking it by the frame. And then I got my jack stand out just in case it was going to fall. I wasn't really sure about the purchase that I had or how strong the frame is, but I was able to get it up, get the jack stand under it, get the vehicle dolly on, and get it on there safely. So let's see how well this rolls around now. So I was able to get the vehicle spun around by myself. It was a little nerve-wracking. There's a big hole in the floor right there that as soon as I started pushing, the car wanted to go straight to. But I just made sure to check my surroundings often enough. I did hit my toolbox a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. Bumper seam's no worse for the wear. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go get our drill gun out. We're going to start removing some of these rivets in here so we can get this panel off, so we can start looking at things, get things cleaned up, and just get a better idea of what's underneath the car and how much room I have to work with.
Yes.
We've got our drill all set up. We're going to go ahead and try and tackle one of these rivets on camera. If that goes well, we're just going to go ahead and do the rest of them off camera. Going to be very tedious, and we're running low on battery. So we're just going to go ahead and start with, say, this one here. Bingo. We're going to keep going. So no surprise, we've got ourselves one stuck rivet out of 8. It's the only one that's stuck, the only one giving me trouble. But that's okay. You know why? We have a solution for that. More power! Around now I had cut a cross section in the rivet and was able to start working the head loose, but I'd really underestimated how stuck this rivet was and how hard it was to get out. Just kind of had to keep fighting with it, and finally was just able to get it out and able to get that panel loose. The reason for more power here was that this rivet on the back of the body was holding the panel in place, and that one had also gotten stuck and started to spin, so I had to cut the head off of this one too, just so I could get this panel loose. One way to do it. So we had a few other stuck rivets. We got that challenged with more power. More power always wins. But we're gonna show you real quick. We I tended to get a little overboard, and well, I kind of just blew the whole rest of the body apart. A lot of the rivets were loose, and I know I said I wouldn't do this yet. However, this gives me a really good chance to see how everything's put together. Also gives me a really good chance to look at everything and see how everything's set up. A lot of those rivets were actually ready to go. This car's probably been bashed around a bit. We've got the side rails off, the fenders off. That one fender was probably going to have to get replaced anyway, or at least majorly repaired. So, got all the fenders off, panels out that we can. We're just going to go ahead and keep trudging along. I've got a couple other rivets to do, cleaning out the interior of the car a little bit. Just making sure everything is the way I want it. Just going to have to start really tearing into it. I know that there's going to be a lot of discovery for me. I'm not going to show you guys all of that, really. I'll show the reassembly when I start putting the rivets back in and really getting everything sorted away and squared up when everything's ready to go. So I think I'm going to end the video there. I've gotten a lot accomplished, a lot different than I thought I was going to, but I knew I was going to have to take these body panels off at some point anyway. Figured it was a good enough time to do it. I tried to get the passenger side door riveted back on, but we've already had a casualty, a brand new rivet gun. And I'm going to give you guys 3 guesses as to what happened.
'Cause it was cheap?
No, it's not cheap. It's not that I bought a cheap one. I mean, it was $10, but...
it was made in China. China crap.
I have no idea where it was made. Honestly, I couldn't really care. I just needed...
Because you were using it wrong, because you're
that?
a f***ing idiot!
Because I was using it wrong, right. So, the rivets that I need on the passenger side are 1/4 inch, and this doesn't have a rivet head for that. I thought I could be smarter and be clever and outsmart the tool designers. And it worked for a time. It was a real pain in the ass. But then, when I went to go take it apart so I could get the rivet out, I lost a piece. It's not really broken, I just screwed up. So, but anyway, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more coming down the pipeline. I've got more episodes in the works here. So if you've gotten this far, I just want to ask you guys, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try and have some sort of a video out once a week. Up until I get everything rolling and going, just keep an eye out and see what we got going on. Yes.
Cause it was cheap.